Yo.
All right, sorry about that, kids. We're back. A little technical.
Yeah, we're back on now. He just put it back on.
Technical glitch. The fans are calling in.
Technical glitch, Platt saying. He just brought us back up.
Sorry, I had to grab a quick bite.
Alright, so we're back on.
So anyway,
I'll talk to you later.
conventions are
I'll
shut
talk to you a
down.
little bit.
Another similar concept that's closed, both Jimmy and I are heartbroken about, the World Series of Poker.
Oh, goodness.
Right now, technically the World Series of Poker is going on right now, but it's all online. If you live in the state of New Jersey or the state of Nevada, I think Delaware is also in there too. You can play online at the World Series of Poker, but the crowds are a lot smaller, and the tournament buy-ins, the prize pool is a lot smaller too. They might be getting 1,000 people for a tournament, something like that. I've played in tournaments in series 18,000. So this is definitely hurting. Also too, I think their highest buy-in event's like $2,000. Well, during the regular World Series of Poker, they have the main event's $10,000 buy-in. And they have something called the Players Championship that's $50,000 buy-in. So, you know, even the world of poker's hurting on that. Speaking of which, some of the casinos are opening up their poker rooms again. They're covered in plexiglass. You got to wear a mask.
Can't eat food.
Can't eat food at the table. And I believe they're six-handed tables, six-handed plus the dealer, 7 people. I think that's the max. The local casino chain Stations, which is owned by the Fertitta brothers who started the UFC. I believe they've opened 3 of their poker rooms: Santa Fe Station, Red Rock, and Boulder Station. Right now, so that's him. Next, some more just absolute bad news. The Raiders. This is supposed to be the Raiders' first year in Las Vegas.
Wow.
And
Silver and black.
the silver and black, and unfortunately, no fans at the games this year.
$1.9 billion stadium is going to sit empty for its first year.
We'd already lost the NFL draft, and now we're basically losing the season, which is the whole selling point. Was, well, we put the stadium by the strip, and it's just we're going to get all these people for all these games. You know, the college UNLV was supposed to play games.
Garth Brooks was supposed to open.
Garth was supposed to open. He's already canceled, so we are out on that. Like I said, at the casino. Hello, watching from Iceland, I think. Thanks for watching. We appreciate you. Like I said, if you have any questions, feel free. It'll pop up on our screen.
And by the way, Platt is single as well, and his credit score is higher than mine, and he also has no children. Both of us.
Ladies, I'm terrible in bed, though. That's part of the problem. But I'm great at pillow talk. I don't like to brag, but pillow talk.
My pillow. I have a few.
You put my pillow. It was New Zealand. All right.
Oh,
New Zealand. You guys
I'm
have.
going there for my next birthday.
All right, Jimmy needs a good spot to get drunk in New Zealand. If you got a spot,
Please
for
give me a few tips in New Zealand.
Yes. Any single ladies in New Zealand, this is coming your way. Anyway, so back to the strip we were talking about. Like I said, even in the casinos, all the bars are closed. All the front bars, all the video poker bars, they're closed. You can still drink in a casino, but you either have to be gambling or you have to go into a restaurant/lounge. Well, a lot of casinos have done to battle this, because again, our government, for some reason, well, if you sell food, then you can drink and it's fine, you're safe from the virus for some reason, but if you just go to a bar and have a drink, well, now you're not safe. So while a lot of casinos know what their lounges is, no one sits at the bar, but you can sit out in the lounge, have a drink, as long as you buy food. And so food's required now. So if you want to go just have some drinks, you're going to buy cheese sticks, whatever.
Yeah, I mean, look, we have no nightclubs open, no bars open, no shows open, no sporting events. I mean, and it's 110 to 115 degrees here. It's unless you're gambling, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, it's tough to get.
So that's kind of the story. on the strip about that. Other cancellations have just come down. Something called EDC, the Electric Daisy Carnival. It was supposed to happen in May.
Huge.
It brings 100,000 people to town. It's insane.
100,000.
They canceled in May, but they were going to push it back to the fall, which made sense for them anyway, because every year they used to have it in June, and just too many kids were getting way too overheated. It's so hot out here in June. They moved it back to May, but that didn't work out this year. So they're going to move it back to November, which the weather's a lot better in November. But now they've canceled that, and they're just going to say, well, we'll see you in 2021. So that's another loss for the city. Real quick, just, again, kind of going back what you can and can't do on the strip. You have to wear a mask everywhere. It's the law. You only get to take it off if you're in a restaurant like this, eating and drinking. And some places are a little stricter than others. I can say, just my experience, I was working. I did get to go back and work in June, but now I'm not working because again, we kind of stepped back a little bit here, and just the volume's not here. The hotels are technically can be at 50% occupancy. On the weekends, most of the casinos are close to that. The weekdays, though, it's 20-some%. Just it's kind of a ghost town. And the reality is, we're only getting domestic travelers, no foreign travelers. Hi there, Noah. Noah Webb. Good to hear from you. Anyway, no international travel. And again, the city was starting to really focus on international travel too, along with convention travel. Well, now it's basically domestic travel, and a lot of people aren't flying, so it's California, Arizona, Utah, people like to drive here.
Yeah.
So that's the crowd we're getting right now.
And we're getting a lot of locals, some more or less interesting, or some are more interesting than others.
Yeah, but well, the local crowd stays kind of local casinos. They don't go to the strip. If you're local here, you just don't spend a lot of time on the strip. I may have talked about this before, but I'm probably an oddity that I actually kind of like to go down the strip, or I used to really love to go to the strip, because it's the strip. It's Las Vegas. The idea is fun. Vegas is fun when it gets operated as normal, where unfortunately it's not doing that. But as far as the locals go, the local casinos, well, we've been to a few local casinos, they seem to be doing all right. The locals just going to fight through. Yeah, wish I live in Vegas. Not a bad town to live in. I'm going to...
No.
Not bad. No state income tax, which is nice.
Thank you.
Cost of living's not unreasonable. It kind of depends on where you're coming from. Like, I moved out here from Dallas. Cost of living was cheaper, there, but it went a huge jump up. Obviously, compared to LA, New York, San Francisco, it's pretty cheap living here, so that's definitely a bonus.
I'm from Florida, from a long way away, but still a hot state, but humid. Really humid down in Florida where I'm from.
Columbus, Ohio.
Hey,
Must be a big Buckeye guy.
We know those people.
Trying to make the move from New Jersey next year. Yeah, definitely wait, because there's not...
Yeah.
That's another thing that's kind of stinks right now, is there's really... All of us are kind of pseudo laid off. There's just not a lot of anything else going on in this town for a job and stuff. There are a couple of casinos on the way, so there is a little optimism.
Yeah, tell them the good news.
So there's 2 casinos on the way. The first one is going to be downtown. Let's see, which one is this? The good news is, come this fall, there'll be a new casino downtown called Circuit. It's where the old Las Vegas Club was. If you've ever been there, you know where I'm talking about. It's across from the Golden Gate Casino.
Did I hear no kids?
No kids. This is going to be the unique thing about Circuit. You have to be 21 years old to even be in the building. Like, you can't bring your kids with you. You can't. Well, grandma will watch them. They're just not allowed in the building. The casino will have 777 rooms. 777.
Lucky 7.
Lucky 7.
It is the 7.
I think so. Also, too, it will have the no kids. Trust me, I'm gonna spend a lot of time there. They'll have the largest sports book in the U.S., bigger than the one that's at the casino's called the Westgate. It's the old Hilton.
Yeah.
That was always known to have the biggest sports book in America. Circa's got the largest sports book in America, and it's got a multi-layered pool up on like the fourth, fifth floor, or something like that.
7
Where you-
pools or something?
Yeah, I have 7 pools, but it'll be multi-layered, and they'll have a big screen out there where everybody can sit in the pool and watch the games. And I think they're even talking about doing like movie nights. Cosmopolitan here does something similar where you can sit at the pool and watch the Blues Brothers or the show. You
On
know,
Golden Pond.
Jimmy, you deserve a drink on Golden Pond.
Where that came from, I don't know, folks. Sorry.
Golden Pond.
Sorry about that.
So anyway, they're shooting the full opening is going to be New Year's. All three, the circus planning on a full opening New Year's Eve that weekend or whatever, but I think the casino's planning on opening around Halloween.
Pretty
The
quick.
states have allowed. The state has actually allowed them to do a couple different things. A, they're allowing them to open the casino before they open the hotel. That's generally a no-go. And again, they're also allowing for the no children thing, which I think is absolutely wonderful. Oh, is that your sister Nancy?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Hey, Nancy, what's going on?
It's- it's-
Anyway, I think that's absolutely wonderful. Later on, most likely in 2021, is going to be the next casino on the Strip. It's where the old Stardust was, and it's going to be called Resort World. It's going to be one of these mega casinos, 3,500 rooms, something like that. Convention area, this, that, and the other. The original concept was more of a Chinese-themed concept. The exterior of the building's red. There's going to be a lot of red there. They were supposedly we were going to build a fake wall of China through it or whatever. However, they switched management about a year ago. They kind of delayed. The casino was supposed to be open already, but they kind of delayed things even before this coronavirus thing. They want to kind of rebrand, step back from the China theme. They've added a nightclub, added a couple things, but they're going to open in 2021. And
What's the name of that one?
Resort World.
It'll be big.
It's going to be huge. Also, they got some big news that came out, I think today or yesterday. You folks may have not heard, but Elon Musk is digging tunnels underneath Las Vegas.
Besides going to the moon.
Yes. Besides
coming back.
Yes. Besides all this other stuff, Elon is building underground people movers. First, connecting different parts of the convention center. Again, this thing, they're pushing the conventions. They expanded our convention center. Then he's going to connect the convention center with the Wynn and eventually Resort World. What are we drinking? Jimbo, what do you got there?
Well, I have a Diet Bud Light because it's on sale for $3.99. Thank you.
I'm going to break some hearts with this announcement, but this will allow me to go on a little rant. I'm actually drinking Michelob Ultra. Now, a lot of people are
Oh, because of Brooks Koepka?
no, my cousin Brooks. Even though go Brooks, I got Brooks on the PGA. We
I got Justin Rose, folks.
Yes.
We're battling.
We are battling. Anyway, sorry about that. Leave it to Elon, yeah. Anyway, so he's digging tunnels different places. One of the places is he's going to connect Resort World to that convention that came out today. The city's going to let him do it. Now, rumors on the street is he eventually wants to connect all this to Michelob Original. Oh, I drank enough regular Michelob back in the day to float at the
Michelob
battle
Gold.
show. Yeah, I remember that.
Remember that?
Actually, Ron, Jimmy's brother. Ron, what's going on, my man?
What's up, brother? Hey, I hope you're out there un-effing yourself.
Yes.
That's an inside joke.
Yeah. So anyway, years ago, when I first moved to town, the whole deal was they were going to expand the monorail. The monorail runs up and down the east side of the Strip. It was a big deal, hey, this will move people, this will be a great value. And it just has never seemed to catch on. Part of the reason was that there's some of the casinos on the east side of the road they're not connected to, the big ones like the Venetian and the Wynn. It basically was just a people mover back and forth to the convention center. there was talk about, again, 15 years ago when I moved out here, that they were going to put one on the west side of the strip. They were going to eventually connect it like MGM. There was talk when they started building the stadium, well, they'll build one on the other side, connect the two, and they'll go to the stadium, or it'll go downtown. It just never happened. The monorail, especially the now 20-something-year-old monorail, it's just too hard to build that thing, extend it to where it adds value.
There is a monorail of some sort from Bellagio, those casinos.
Well, there was. At one time, there was people didn't want to pay for the monorail. No, that's true. That's another thing, too. Another thing that happened in Vegas is like, well, everything's free. Why would I pay for it? And that's kind of what happened to that. I will say that as a person who's used the monorail before, especially at 1, 2 in the morning when I've been half cocked, there's times where it does seem like a good value, especially with, again, at the time, cabs and the way the cabs used to gouge. Now with a thing called Uber, it's a little easier to get around, so that's kind of, again, changed the monorail's world. What Elon Musk is going to do is start digging these tunnels underneath, and there you don't have quite the right-of-way issue that you do with a monorail up top. You don't have to stop traffic and everything, and so hopefully that's an answer that we have coming soon, especially again with hopefully 2021 we can have a football team that has actual fans that generate revenue to pay for that tax we had to pay for the stadium.
What about the bullet train? Is that ever going to happen, Platt?
Stadium is Raider Stadium being built closer to Raider Stadium is going to be on the other side of the interstate. I-15 runs along the strip, and the Raider Stadium's across the street basically from Mandalay Bay, Luxor, and Excalibur, those 3 hotels. Right now, there's no plan for it to build a separate pedestrian bridge. There's a road on the backside of Mandalay Bay called Hacienda, and each week if we had crowds, they would close that down and let you walk across the street. It's not a bad walk. It's pretty convenient. Oddly enough, I'm glad you brought that up. Another rumor that we've been hearing out here is that they may implode the Luxor. Even though Luxor is back open and limited operations, the rumor is that, for one thing, the Luxor's always had issues. It's an odd-shaped building. They had issues originally with the elevators because the elevators didn't go up. They had to go like this, and they would jerk. So, also, they had issues back in the day with it being hollowed out in the middle, and people would jump. Build train, I believe, LA to Vegas happening. The bullet train thing, what I've read about it is they get okays from like a county or something. All right, we'll give you a $10 million grant and that builds like half a mile of rail. We're still 300 miles away. So they are making progress toward that. I just don't know. I got a feeling by the time they get it finished, it might not just mean as much.
We might have flying cars.
Well, that's the thing, here in a year or two, Elon Musk may have us in self-driving cars where he don't care, or flying cars, or he may bore a tunnel underneath the city and worrying about the train.
Yeah.
So we'll see. I mean, I hope it happens because it makes sense. It'd be kind of a cool idea to have some kind of bullet train between here in LA, maybe here in Phoenix, But we'll see. That's something else working on.
What else you got there?
Another bit of good news: the first buffet in Reno is reopened.
Hey,
at the Atlantis Hotel.
Can't go wrong with buffet in Vegas.
At the Atlantis Hotel. There's a few buffets open here in Vegas. The Wynn is the most notable. What they're doing now, it's not a regular buffet anymore. You just don't go up and fill your plate with crab legs anymore. Most buffets have done where you go, it's cafeteria style. You go like, I'll take some mashed potatoes and I'll take this. I'll take a slice of prime rib and they
cafeteria style.
I want to say the Wynn's buffet though. I could be wrong on this, but I want to say the Wynn's buffet is doing it where they basically just give you a list of all your options on the buffet and you tell a waiter and it's like a regular restaurant. But a couple of buffets are open. Is Caesar's Buffet open? I want to say they're about to open.
They're not yet. They're not right now.
They're not yet, but I think they're working to open.
I know. My name is Jimmy Buffet sometimes.
And one other little thing real quick. The bit of good news. The Downtown Grand is planning opening another tower in September. It's going to be called the Gallery Tower. The downtown Grain, if you're unfamiliar, it's just a couple of blocks off Fremont Street. It's just a little off.
It's right across the street from the Mob Museum.
Yes, the Mob Museum, which is a great time if you've never been. And down below, they have their own speakeasy with their own distillery. It's kind of a cool little spot.
It is a nice little hotel. I stayed there a couple times. And there's what's it, Hogs and Heifers nearby.
Hogs and Heifers, the only bar I've ever been kicked. I heard the D is closing. Have not heard anything about the D closing. I got a feeling not anytime soon because the gentleman that's opening the new casino downtown, Circa, owns the D and the Golden Gate, and he's probably needing both casinos to start generating money.
Didn't he do some sort of criteria to get in, Platt?
The D started enforcing a stricter dress code.
Yes.
And one that deals with something about neck tattoos or visible tattoos. They backed off on that. They backed off on, I guess, also they were not wanting ladies to show as much cleavage as they were.
What's wrong with that?
Well, true. But Vegas, again, is looser, but you still have to have some kind of rules. If you go downtown, you'll see some stuff. It's just, do they still have station casinos? Yes, the stations are still open. Finish my point on the D. Anyway, they were kind of clamping down because downtown really does push the boundaries. Like, people talk about, oh, the Strip, it's crazy on the Strip or whatever. No way that would work downtown, no. But downtown's just a different animal. Like, they really push the boundaries. And there's some stuff, especially those street performers, you kind of want to, man, they shouldn't let me. There's
some funny stuff.
There's some funny stuff, but there's some really big, ugly people out there not wearing much at all, just pasties and stuff, and some of that needs to be clamped down on. So I understand where they're coming from. It's a tough time to kind of pick that battle.
It's kind of a freak show.
Yeah. As far as the station casinos go, someone just asked about that.
Yeah.
Most of the stations are open. 3 of their state is Rancho, which are kind of local casinos, and then the Palms, which
is not. That's more local. That's close to the Strip.
Well, it's close to the Strip. Well, it's a quote unquote locals casino that a tourist would hit. A tourist is not hitting Fiesta Henderson or Fiesta Rancho. But the Palms was known worldwide, and 15 years ago was a hot spot. Yeah. But anyway, they're not reopening, and they've already kind of let their employees know, yeah, we're probably not bringing you back. You're probably losing your job.
That's sad.
It's really bummer on that Palms deal because they spent the Fertittas when they finally took over the Palms from the Blues. They put about $500 million in it. One of the big things was this nightclub called Chaos. Yes, where they had Cardi B and Marshmello, and they paid all those guys crazy money, and they didn't make anything. They had to cut Marshmello's contract in half, or well, basically they cut it early. He was supposed to do like 40 shows. I think he only did 20 or 20 to 50. Anyway, he did half the shows he was supposed to, and they cut it short. They were paying the guy.
Talking about Marshmello.
Yeah. Well, they were paying the guy like $500,000 a night to DJ.
It's sick.
And they just weren't bringing anybody. It just didn't work. They found people were skimming, but needless to say, the Fertittas put a lot of money in a hotel that wasn't making money, and then this thing happened. I don't see them reopening anytime soon. So that's the story on the stations. The rest of their casinos are open.
What about the Rio?
And again, as far as casinos that are still closed on the Strip, Rio's the prime one, and I know some guys that bartend there. It's a bummer deal. That's where the World Series of Poker's at. I got a feeling that one's not going to reopen. Caesar had already sold the casino before this whole thing went down, and they'd sold the property. They were leasing it back to run, and they said they had 2 years they were going to run the casino, and there was an option for a possible third. And after that, they didn't know. And the company that supposedly bought the property had kind of implied, well, we may develop it, maybe into condos, or do something with it. One of the big rumors here in town was that they were going to implode it and put a major league ballpark there because it's a big enough space with the convention area, the 2 towers and everything. You could put a stadium there and have parking. But I got a feeling, especially after this whole Raider thing, we're going to have, again, a year of the Raiders with no crowd, not generating the revenue we were promised. I got a feeling the baseball thing may be off for a while. Also closed is still Planet Hollywood. The Link Hotel, the casino's open, but the hotel's not. The Cromwell's still not open. And the old
And they're on the strip.
yeah. And the old Hooters Hotel, it's called Oyo now.
Trop
And the Tropicana, thank you. Yep, yep. What else do you know that's closed? Well, I want to take a quick bite.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
No, I mean, there's several, like I say, the Cromwell, the Trop, that are on the strip. You know, that are on the strip that, you know, you wonder, you know, why they haven't opened. And the Mirage as well, Platt, is still not open. And they're talking about opening soon, but we'll have to see. I mean, like I said, there's still on the weekends. The hotels are about 50%, and during the weekdays it's about 20 to 30%. I've been told.
So that's where we are in the casino. Real quick, we'll just touch basics. Like I said, if you have a question, feel free to pop on. I thought about something on the way here, and this is again the dilemma where the state's at. Not just casinos on the strip, they're having to deal with this, but all the local joints. If you live in town, you always have a favorite video poker bar. Now most of them are considered quote unquote pubs, and they have a kitchen, you can get your cheese sticks, whatever. And again, they're still allowed to be open. But a lot of bars, like one of them is Frank's Tiki's bars that I did on the Vegas Bar Series, they don't sell food, they just have video poker, and they're closed. They can't open this and the other. And it's because somehow our governor's like, well, again, if you eat food, you can't get the virus, so we're going to leave you open, but if you don't serve food.
Good Mai Tais.
Great Mai Tais. But anyway, so it kind of made me think, all right, what's the definition of the bar? We're in a Buffalo Wild Wings right now, and this thing, bar, it's the closest thing to bar we got. Is it really a bar? And so what do you think a bar is? Like, what does that mean?
Well, you gotta be able to sit at it first.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the main thing. Be able to sit at a bar and then chat with the bartenders. The bartenders would make a bar, happen, and then of course the people that are in, that come in, and the liquor that they have, drinks. There might be drink specials that they have, like at Frank's Tiki Bar. They got all those exotic, drinks that they have.
Exotic, erotic, That's just something I thought about, because oddly enough, and I may have brought this up before in other videos, but I came from Dallas, and Dallas is mainly suburbs. Like, not too many people actually live in Dallas proper. It's more of a sprawling suburb. And those suburbs, especially in the Dallas metro area, it's all about the chain restaurants. Chili's, Applebee's, Bennigan's, which are no longer open, but your TGI Fridays or whatever. And that's where people actually hang out. Especially if you got out into the suburbs or well away from Dallas. I ran some Applebee's in like Denton and Sherman, and when you get outside the metro area, that's a hot spot in town. I can't tell you how big Applebee's was in Sherman, Texas, because we're an hour or so away from Dallas. You weren't going to any, there was hardly any bar. Well, actually in the town there was just a Chili's and Applebee's, and there was a local joint. So if you wanted to party in that town, you went to Applebee's or Chili's. And it's just a different animal. People
Is that because you used to work for them, Platt? You're fond of the Applebee's?
Well, no, I do.
You worked at Kentucky Fried Chicken. You fond of them too?
No, we don't need to give them a resume. For God's sake. But anyway, so that's my point, though. It's just, it's kind of the idea of a bar. Like, we all have the idea, especially if you're Jimmy's age, a little bit older, you have the idea of a long bar with bartender, big husky bartender like us, old and gruff, and you got one TV in the corner playing the ball game, and you got a couple old regulars at the end, a couple other people, and they're drinking Harvey Wallbangers or vodka tonic, stuff like kind of like from the old Billy Joel song Piano Man.
Making love to his tonic and gin.
But I think nowadays the definition has changed. It's just something I kind of want to bring up with you. Just
modernized.
Like, how many people actually? How many bars can you think of now that you actually go to that have no food? It's just an absolute dive hole in the wall. you really don't.
A lot of them do have food now, and they're serving food.
And I think that might be more of an East Coast thing. Older bars that have been established for a long time.
Mom
and pop joints. Yeah.
Dirty Ernie's. I don't know where it is, but I like the name.
Ernie. I love the name.
Dirty Ernie's.
Yeah.
I don't know where I came up with that.
So anything else you can think of new on the Strip? We're going on, or any news we need to share with the kids? Any advice for them coming out here?
You better, like, right now, gambling and gambling. Did I say gambling?
Real quick, some of the casinos have their pool open, and that's actually where I think a lot of this
Yeah, they do.
second waves come from, because
Cabanas.
you can't ask people to wear masks in the pool, even though now they ask you to wear a mask. If you're
Out
not
of the
in the
pool.
pool, out of the pool, you gotta wear a mask, even though it's 100 plus outside.
At the water parks as well.
Yeah. But when the pools first reopened, when the casino first reopened, the pools were kind of one of those places where you were close to back to normal. But as some of you may or may not have seen, some of the pools got a little out of hand, this, that, and the other. Or to enforce social distancing inside a cabana, especially they pull the curtains back.
And then if you go back to the East Coast and some of the West Coast, you got all the beaches that were in Florida and California that were overcrowding, and they shut them down. So, and they had outbreaks. So I don't know. It's difficult when you think that you could get away with being at the beach and social distance. But I mean, it got. You looked at the pictures on the TV; they were getting crowded.
So basically, right now, like Jimmy said, if you got a real hardcore itch to gamble, you want to play some blackjack, or what have you, slots. Sports books are open, but each one's going to be different on the social distancing thing.
Cheaper hotel
Whether the
room.
bar. Well, yeah. That's one of the things. That's one of the things that's going on right now too, is because it's not Vegas. Also, too, it's only leisure travelers. It's no longer convention people are, so they really got to hustle to try to get the rooms to 50%. So, because really, we'd gotten to the point where only about 25% of the people that came out were for leisure. The rest were convention special events. So now they have to turn that 25% to 50% to pay the bills. One of the things they really have made the rooms cheaper, free parking, which are all great things in a general sense. Unfortunately, the crowd we're getting now is kind of pretty much a spring break crowd, the Southern California crowd. And
there's no crowds from Europe. They're not allowed in the country. There's no crowds from Canada. They're not allowed in the country. So it's mostly closer to us, and some of the locals that I'm looking at Platt, and he knows what I'm talking about, because we've been in a few casinos, and it's a little different than it was 6 months ago.
It's a spring break crowd. One thing that's always cool about Vegas when things are working right, well, here's you get an eclectic mix of people. Guys in for the Insurance Adjusters Association, the CES, SEMA, the ADMs Awards. You got people coming in to go to a Golden Knights hockey game. We're missing the hockey playoffs out here because of this shit. Everything. You would have people coming out for a Celine Dion concert, or see Lady Gaga or whatever. And then you'd have just the generic, derelict gambler. You'd have just a wide range of people. And it's kind of a cool mix, however. But now it's just, again, people from Southern California, Arizona, kind of the spring break crowd, and there's a little different vibe on the Strip.
What else you got there, sir?
I don't have anything else really on. Real quick, I'm sorry I didn't do this at the start, and I don't know if he's listening, but I did get a compliment today from somebody in the comment section.
What?
And if you're watching my YouTube videos, feel free to comment. If you have any questions, I will do my best to answer.
He does a lot of YouTube things. He does a lot of beer.
Oh, we're on YouTube. They know me. Anyway, make a long story short, I got a comment from a viewer, Flea Swervin. I think that's how he says that, his name. Or anyway, Flea Swervin sent me a comment today.
Swerve.
Swerve. Well, you'd have to see how it's spelled. Anyway, Flea Swervin left a comment and said, "Hey, I love your positivity, you are. You have such a great vibe. You make the world a happier place." And I just want that. I don't know why that touched me today. I just felt good about that, and if I put a smile on anybody's face, I guess I've done my deed for the day. So Flea, if you're watching, thank you for the compliment. It really did make my day.
Bless your little heart.
Bless your heart, yes. Indeed. So that's pretty much it for Vegas. Where we going? Where we're going next? Our governor made an announcement this last week that we weren't going to do the phase thing anymore. That we were going to call it something else, and it was going to be a county by county thing. They've started if you're not familiar with Nevada, Nevada is kind of a weird state. There's two big towns, Vegas and Reno, and they're kind of one. Vegas is far south, Reno's far northwest. And in between is a bunch of nothing. If you saw our video where Jim and I took the trip around Nevada, you can see there's a lot of nothing. Well, the state was getting a lot of pushback from these smaller towns, like, hey, we don't have a COVID problem. We're not, we don't have tourists here. Let us open. These mom and pop joints are a real big deal in small towns. There's no chain restaurants in these towns that can kind of survive this. They need to get those businesses open. And so the governor's kind of capitulated. All right, we'll do this at a county by county level instead of the state level, because cities like Elko and Ely, man, it doesn't matter. They don't need to do this. And again, Reno and Vegas have so many out-of-towners, tourists, stuff like that. It's just a different deal. So we're at a county by county thing right now. But Clark County, where Vegas is at, and then Washoe County, where Reno's at. They're both going to probably be the last two to get fully open. The governor's in just no hurry. Right now, we're in technical limbo. We're supposed to be in a 2-week period where they kind of judge and review before they let us know if we can just even open bars again. We're not having. I got a feeling we're not having any sporting events or anything like that.
Concerts done.
Concerts.
Sporting events.
I got a feeling
shows are going to be canceled for the rest of the year.
Well, that's one thing. I think it's MGM Resorts told their entertainment division pretty much what you guys have done.
Cirque du Soleil filed for bankruptcy.
Cirque du Soleil filed for bankruptcy. Now, they were already headed in financial trouble before this, so this obviously didn't help, and it's a good excuse. And technically, they're separate from MGM Resorts.
Right.
Let's have a cold beer.
Let's do that.
Cold beer.
Folks, here's to you.
All right. So anyway, that's MGM. Like I said, the shows are probably done for 2021. Conventions, they're going to try their best to sneak them in, but we'll have. Again, I got a feeling our governor's in no hurry, unfortunately.
It's just they're not going to happen. People don't want to come and subject themselves to stuff like that. They came out right before, if you remember, Platt, right before we closed, was the, what was the big one they had? The
CES?
No, it wasn't
March?
CES. It was the lifts and the bulldozers.
Oh, the construction show.
Yes. Sorry about that, folks.
Yeah.
But they and I talked to some of the people, and a lot of people got sick from that when they came, and a lot of people didn't come either.
Well, see, that's another thing that's finally coming out. Is it was reported at the time we shut down. The state shut down March 17th.
Right.
It was kind of reported at the time that it just got to Vegas. That's why we're shutting down early. The reality was it was here before. Actually, CES, which is early January, they came to find out that actually some people that came to CES already had it already came to America before they were saying it was, and that means it came to Vegas early. And so people even back in January were getting it. I know I personally was sick. I did the antibody test. My doctor said, "Well, we really
have
can't
the
tell."
Kung flu?
Well, my doctor said, "Well, we really can't tell." And she kind of him and hawed if she even wanted to give me the test. I'm like, "Can we do it just so I know?" And so it came back inconclusive, but thing of the radar wire said that yes, a few people at CES had it. That was also Chinese. That also was like a week or two before Chinese New Year. And trust me, the casinos are very busy at that time. We get a lot of,
I'm surprised we didn't get it as worse. Hit worse.
Yeah. So it probably came from Vegas earlier than people think. Is where we were going with this. So yeah, the convention thing. I guess the question you may ask, and I will answer is, should I come to Vegas right now? I'm going to say, unless you really have a specific issue, hey, I've got to play blackjack, and I just want to play blackjack, or I just want to play slot machines. Anything else, if you're wanting to live the normal Vegas thing, rage, catch a show, go to a club, I just don't see it happening anytime soon. I don't want to discourage anybody.
Yeah.
No, we need the business. I need the job. He needs the job. We all need the job. But I know, like I said, Gene knows this. I love going to the Strip. But I've gone once or twice that first week when it reopened, and I'm like, I could tell this is not going to be the Vegas I know. The Vegas I love. Hopefully our politicians will change that. A lot of people are losing money, but it is what it is. But we still have cold beer. Cheers to that.
We're hanging in there.
We're hanging in there. Jimmy and I have taken a couple of trips. Might have to take another one.
Might have to take another one.
We've got a lot of free time in our hands. So be open, possibly another road trip video coming somewhere down the line. Like I said, also contemplating a podcast. Someone here mentioned earlier about that. It's on my mind. Like I said, I've played around with doing a third video a week. Didn't really gain any traction. Maybe I'll try the podcast thing. Working on different things. Speaking of which, down below my videos, you'll see the merchandise deck. You want a shirt, what have you. I've added mask now. If you want a Platt Art Channel mask, that is an option. Also, fanny packs.
Fanny packs are big.
Yeah, for those of you inclined with a good fanny pack.
I bought me one of them.
Platt Art Channel. Yeah, I'll take another beer.
Yeah, why not? I bought me one of them Platt Art shirts.
Yeah, Jimbo's got a Platt Art Channel shirt too. So if you want a shirt, check the merchandise deck down below, or you can find it through the About section in here.
Yeah.
So Jimbo, anything you want to tell the kids before we wrap up?
Well, right now it looks a little gloomy, but we're going to get out of this, and we're going to get out of it, I think, sooner than later. And maybe I sound like a president or something, but that's the way you got to be.
I did not have sexual relations with that woman.
Hey, let's not go there.
Except for her mouth.
Hey, jokes.
I do birthday parties, bar mitzvahs, what have you.
The jokes are free tonight.
The jokes are free, but the beer's not.
No, but everything's gonna turn around. Everybody just kind of stay put for now, unless you really want to get out here and gamble. And there's other places to gamble if you want to gamble, but we're gonna come back. We're gonna be back strong, and when we do, we're gonna need everybody's support to come back out and
Yeah, I would advise that. I guess my advice is, even though rooms are cheap, stuff like that, even flights are cheap, but guys, you got to fly with the mask on the whole time. And who wants to be on a plane right now? And again, the rooms are cheap, but like I said, to do what kind of crowds out here? I'd advise you save up your pennies. If anything, it means when you come out here, you have more to blow. Have a bigger time. I would wait until they open the clubs back up, open the pools back up. I understand that again, sports may be down for a while, but
Bud Light.
Well, thank you, young lady.
But I would definitely.
We got some business to take care of here.
I definitely would wait until they quit making you wear a mask. Again, that's up to you. I'm just telling you what I do personally. But anyway, I'd wait. We're going to be open. We're not going to shut down all these casinos. Everything. So, with that being said, I hope you liked this. If you did, please leave a comment. We may do more of these in the future. You know, I know we did a couple back when the city first closed. We may start doing these once a week, bi-weekly. Just let you guys know what's going on in Vegas. If you have any questions, like I said, you can always put it in the comment section or the little chat deal, or you can go ahead and send them to me ahead of time through Twitter at Platt's Blues Blog or Instagram at Platt Roberts. Well, until next time.
And I want to say one thing before we go.
Hold on.
I want to say one thing. You know, as Casey Kasem used to say, folks, keep your feet on the ground and keep reaching for the stars.
Till next time, bottoms up.